What's up guys, Tristan here from the CPAPstore.ca. Today we have a brand new mask to show you, the Fisher Paykel Solo. Now I know the Solo is being released in Australia, I think in the US for quite some time now. We still have yet to see it in Canada, but I have my hands on one because I got it when I was in the States, so I could review it on the channel. Now I got it at the Sleep Convention, which was actually quite handy because they had quite a few diagrams explaining how this thing works. But today we're going to be looking at this mask, seeing my honest opinion of the mask, and basically all the features you can expect from the Solo. Now, more similar to a P10, the bottom here of this main strap, I should say, is like a knit material, like almost like a sock all the way around. So there's no hard or sharp edges on this mask whatsoever. It's very soft on this headgear, very minimal on the outside, and then we have the back here where it sprawls out. Now the back actually has like some sort of wire or something right in here, so it's quite structured. It's not stretchy, it's just kind of structured. We have the cushion here, which has the stability wings. Now this cushion is a nasal cradle cushion, meaning it just goes underneath the nose. Some cushions, if you're new to CPAP, might have like pillows like this. This is a P10 with very prominent pillows, and then the F&P pillows are typically a little bit more minimal, so they are just kind of like that. Okay, and that just kind of rests, I wouldn't say in your nostrils, I would just say kind of like sealing around the whole of the nostril, but it doesn't really go in or anything like that. So that's the Fisher Paykel way. Now, I'm saying this because the Solo is gonna come with the pillows and the nasal cradle option. So some people like pillows, some people like cradles. So it has a little bit of option there. I only have the cradle today. Now finishing off the mask, we have the cushion going into the tube connection here. The tube connection is an oval. It doesn't swivel or anything like that. So there's no swivel, which builds up a little bit of tension when you're kind of moving around in the mask. But you do have a swivel on the end of this elephant trunk here, okay? So that's basically the mask. Now, what do I think of this mask? Why is this mask different? Now, in typical F&P fashion, they've created another innovative mask, but with innovation, there's always a little bit of quirks here and there. So we're gonna talk about that. So most of the innovation comes in the headband here. And in this headband, there is like basically two cables that run, and there's basically like a locking mechanism that locks it in place. And the reason why it works so well is because it's kind of like a seatbelt. Sometimes, you know, you pull a seatbelt too fast and it locks and it can only feed into the seatbelt, but it can't come out. That's kind of how it works. So you want your CPAP mask to be nice and sealed around your nose so you can push this mask into your nose and it doesn't come back out. I think that the headgear of this mask is one of the best headgears ever developed in any CPAP mask ever. What makes it really nice is because it's very structured, you can kind of put it on your head like a baseball cap. So some more flimsy masks, for example, I'm gonna take this P10. It has a little bit of stability, but not a lot. So I can't just do that, you know what I mean? I can use two hands, right? And it's pretty easy. And then we have something like with the micro with no stability, and I can't put kind of it on just with one hand. I definitely need two hands to put it on. Where the Solo is kind of similar to the Avora nasal mask, is you can really actually just put it on with one hand, grab the back of the head, pull it all the way forward, bring it down, push it like that, and then you might need to do like one adjustment, like with the top strap, but that's about it. And then to make it a nice perfect seal, you push it in and it becomes nice and firm and it doesn't come back out and it's locked in place. Now, if you pull it, you can still get out of your mask. It doesn't really lock in place. But for a majority of things, if you push it down, like a pillow and stuff like that, pushing the side of your face or a blanket or anything like that, it's not gonna knock it around. Even if it does, even if you are on the pillow and you turn sideways, which I thought might be an issue, which isn't really, it's actually strong enough. You can just take one hand, bring it back to the front, push it just like that. Or say one side comes out a little loose, you just push it back like that and it locks in place, and it's just so good. It's so good. I think if you are buying for yourself or buying for someone with dexterity issues or arthritis or stuff like that, this headgear is insanely good. Now, where the faults of this mask lie is in the front here, okay? This front here, there's a few things that I don't like about it. The actual cushion itself is pretty good. Most F&P cushions I find are a little bit better for those with a Caucasian nose, so pointier nose. You can kind of see how almost pointy the cushion is. But that being said, the medium actually fits pretty well with me and I don't have any leaks. It's just these stability arms that get me here because my nose is very small, so I'm therefore pushing the mask in a lot. like this, right? It's not having any discomfort just here, but if I push on the mask, right here in the stability cushion is what's digging into my cheek, okay? And that's mainly because I have, I think, a smaller nose, so I'm pushing it a little more in, versus if you had a nose more like Eric here, and you push the mask in, there's a little more space between the stability wing and your cheek. So that's one thing for me that I'm not a fan of. Thankfully, I believe the pillow version of this mask won't have that issue because I think the stability wings, if they have stability wings, aren't as high. So I'm looking forward to trying this, the pillow version with the cushion with this mask, because I think that'll be a game changer. I think in that case, the cushion will be fantastic for me personally. The one thing that is really kind of the undisputed problem with this mask is the holes at the front here. Now the holes at the front have a diffuser, right? And these holes are a little bit bigger than the micro, but there is no like fabric diffuser that you would see on the Bravada. For example, in the Bravada, we have kind of the holes, but then we have this fabric diffuser here that you can take it on and off, which is really good. So if you have COPD, you need a little extra ease exhaling, you can take it off and have a little more windy experience, but it's gonna be better for your health. But if you don't have COPD or you don't have problems exhaling, then you snap it on and your wife or husband or whoever you're sleeping with, if you're sleeping with anyone, is not gonna feel wind in their face because the diffuser takes care of that. And that's why I think that Bravada was one of our least windy or quietest minimal nasal masks when I tested them all out because of that fabric diffuser. The Solo, however, does not have that fabric diffuser, and therefore it has the same issues that I had with the Micro and the Evora nasal mask, where the holes just spray out air and it gets a pretty windy experience. That being said, if you're at the higher pressures, having that holes makes it easier to exhale. So I do like that aspect of the mask. I can't discount that. But with one thing comes another, right? And therefore you're just having a very windy experience. Now, how windy is the Solo mask? Is it just opinions that people are writing on Reddit and YouTube, and YouTubers are saying this, but no one's actually tested it out? Well, I'm gonna test it out right now. So I'm gonna put it on my standard 15 pressure, okay? That's how I test every diffuser, is at a 15 pressure. Put this guy on. First of all, check out how easy that is to get a good seal. Just put it on, push, good seal, like insane. Okay, we're at a 15 pressure. Okay, so with the anemometer, right close to the diffuser there, at a 15 pressure, standard with all my tests, it got 3.68 meters per second. So to put that in perspective, the P10 is 1.6 meters per second, meaning when you have a 15 pressure on here, the diffuser is doing a great job diffusing the air and you barely feel any wind at all. It's like just like a slight exhale, if anything. That being said, it's a little bit harder to exhale out of the when you get to the higher pressures, because the diffuser is kind of like this plastic mesh material, especially if it gets a little dirty. It's a little harder to exhale and it's not as comfortable as a CPAP experience, but it has the least wind. And then the Bravada is roughly the same, that like 1.5 meters per second. The Micro, I got 2.6 meters per second when I last tried it out. And I think it's just because the holes are a lot smaller. And then the Solo is 3.68 meters per second. So that's quite a bit, 1.5 to 2.5 to 3.68 roughly. So out of all these masks, I would say like this minimal nasal under the nose type category, the Solo definitely has the windiest noise. And so if you're sleeping with a partner, it might be blowing in their face. And for some people, that might be like a total knockout punch for the Solo, and they can't use it because their spouse just gets mad. So they're gonna be sleeping solo because they're gonna be so windy. So that's the one gripe that I have with this mask. The stability wings pushing here, honestly, for the most part, unless I'm really jamming my head in a pillow, it's not an issue. And the headgear is so nice. So for people with dexterity, arthritis, all that stuff, like it's so good in so many qualities. It's the noisiness of the mask and the lack of the swivel joint for me that doesn't allow me to give it like the 10 out of 10 CPAP mask killer that I kind of wanted to, because I was excited for this mask. But I would say it's kind of in the realm of everything else. So that wraps up the Solo mask review. Please like this video or subscribe to our YouTube channel, helps us out a lot. Visit our website if you're Canadian, best prices in Canada. The CPAPstore.ca is pretty good. I would tell you if I could find better prices on another website, but I can't.